Hello, my crafty friends and creators from around the globe. Welcome to Hither and Jan's studio. DJ here, and today I thought we would make one of these fun little mini photo albums. I made this a couple of days ago, and it's just made out of a single, well, the base is made out of a single piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, though you could probably adjust this a number of different ways. And it opens up, and let me just move these pages out of the way. It opens up and you have some cards over on the sides, and then this centerpiece opens up like so. And then this is a photo waterfall type album that is perfect for square photos. So if you print out a lot of your Instagram photos, they would fit perfectly into this size. And you can design this so many different ways, and we're going to make one similar to this today. But you could use any type of paper. I used a black cardstock base, and then just some decorative paper, and you could do two sides, though I thought if you had a photo here with some photo corners that, you know, you're going to cover that up anyway. So I only did it on one side. So we're going to do one of these today, and it's got like this little string that kind of connects. Maybe. All right, and then I just attached, you know, a little ribbon here. And you could stick this in a journal if you wanted to, or you could give it as a gift for a vacation trip or to a best friend. Fill it with some photos of the two of you together and just hand it off instead of a normal, you know, everyday card. You could do something like this. So I thought it would be fun if we did some, since it is autumn, we did some with some fun autumn themed papers and colors and just some items that I had in my stash. So we're going to do this today. We're going to make one just like this, and then I'll do another video because I think we could also do this with a single sheet of 8.5 by 11 or A4, and it would be a little smaller, but it would serve the same purpose. So for today, we're going to do this one here, and then I'll post a future video for something with this size paper. All right, let's get to it. All right, so I have a piece of 12 by 12. It's lightweight cardstock. I had used a heavier weight cardstock here on this one. So if you have a heavyweight cardstock, that'll work fine. I think this will work fine too. We will find out, but we're going to be putting paper on both sides. So we will have the cardstock sandwiched between two pieces, and I think that is going to make it more than sturdy enough. So what you want to do is on your scoreboard, or you can fold on the 3 3/4 inch line. So that's half, that's quarter. And then you want to go over 3/8, 1, 2, 3, and score again. And then all I do is flip it around and do the exact same thing. So 3 3/4. And then go over 1, 2, 3. Let's see, am I on a quarter there? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1/8 and score. Okay, so I probably should have mentioned this before we started scoring, but this is the up and down direction. So if you're using some kind of cardstock with a pattern, you want to keep it going up and down, but honestly we're going to cover up most of what's on here, so I would go with just a clean sheet, like a blank sheet of cardstock. All right, so we have 3 sections now that are 3 1/4 And then we have the 3/8 gutter here. And now we're going to turn this, and we're going to do the lines that would make these. I cut some of this off, which you'll see, but so there's just going to be a score here and a score here. And these fold up, this folds up, and then this folds down for these flaps, okay? So what we're going to do is score up on the 2 1/4, and then we're going to score again at 7 1/2. Okay, so we've turned it. And we're going to do 2 1/4, and then we got to go to a half. So at 9, it's going to be 9 3/4. I can't do math in my head. So anyway, okay, and then that will give us this space, which should be 7 1/2. About, yeah, right there. You know, your scoreboard's a little off. And so, all right, so let me give you the new measurement. So you're going to score at 2 1/4. Then you're going to score at 9 3/4. It was way harder than it needed to be. All right, and now we're just going to fold on all of our score lines. All right, so as you can see here, I cut the tops off of here. So I cut from the 3/8 all the way over on both sides for the top. And then down at the bottom, I just cut out this little section, and actually I left it in. You'll see we'll make a pocket with that. And then I just rounded these corners. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to cut off, I don't know how well this is gonna show up. There it is. We're gonna cut off from this the far side of the 3/8 all the way over. Same thing here. So we're going to go in all the way to the 3/8 and over. And then down here, what you want to do is you want to cut just a line up. So you don't want to cut this off. You want to just cut a line right on the edge that's touching this. So on both sides, you're just going to cut there. All right. So that's what you're left with at the top. We can use them on another project. And then down here, we're just going to do the 2. Okay, and now since these are going to be our pockets, we want to use this flap kind of on the inside. So we're just going to cut a little bit here. So we're going to cut across that 3/8 inch. Use your scissor if you don't have a cutting knife. So we just made that flap. And we'll just kind of cut an angle on it. hard to do right-handed for some reason. Okay, there we go. And now that little flap will expand that pocket a little on one side so you can get a little more stuff in there, because this will come out a little more. Now this one's going to glue directly down, and the same thing on this side. We'll glue this one, and then you'll just have a little extra room there. I'm going to round these corners. And you don't have to round the corners, but if you do round the corners, you're going to be doing a lot more corner rounding, because then you'll see I'm going to round my corners, and then all the papers that you sit inside will then also have to be rounded. So you decide at this point how many little pieces of paper you want to vacuum up off the floor. All right, so that is our base, as you can see now. Super easy, and out of one sheet of 12 by 12. Now, these little pieces are great for doing little flip outs in your journals. So you can just glue them down inside your journals and flip them out. It'd be a good little way to use them. All right, we can glue these because we're not going to be putting paper down in there. So I'm just going to put some glue on here, and then on these sides, just so that they're out of the way. And then we'll go over the sizes of paper that you need throughout the rest of this project. And this is art glitter glue. But I also have some Aleene's super tacky. I think it's called turbo tacky. I have PVA glue. You can use whatever whatever you have. I know a lot of people will ask me though what glue I'm using. So it's the artglitter.com art glitter glue. And then I have just a stainless steel needle that goes in the top. All right. We'll push this up now and glue that down into place. Get my cutting tool out of the way. All right, so there is our base, as you see, for the outside. Now for the inside, I'll show you all the pieces that you need. You can pause the video, take notes, but I'll also put it down in the description so you have it. Okay, you want one piece that is 3 5/8 inch by 7 1/4 inch. And that is going to be the base that sits down here that we put our waterfall on. All right, so that's that. Then you want 2 pieces of 3 1/2 by 7, and these are going to become the pieces that we cut to put on our bottom piece here and up here. So whatever type of paper you want to use there, we're going to end up cutting this off at 2 inches, and then we'll have a nice little about a 1/4 inch gap around it, and then the same thing up here. So pick your paper for that, and you want, again, 2 pieces 3 1/2 by 7. And then for the outer covers, you want to have 3 pieces that are 3 1/2 by 7 1/4. And I'm going to use, and if you're using directional paper, just make sure that you have it the direction you want. So I'm gonna put 1 piece here, and then 1 piece here, like that. And then I'm going to just put a plain piece on the back. I thought it would be fun to maybe write a little note on here, or I could add another pocket or do a bunch of things. So I wanted to just kind of keep it neutral. All right, and again, these papers are all from my Autumn Vibe paper pack. It's a digital paper pack. It's only $1.99, and you get, I think, 20 pages. You get 10 patterned and 10 blank, like colored, but it's got like almost a linen texture. So if you want to get this particular pattern, you can go to the shop and get them, but use whatever you have. You don't have to buy that. So that's those. Then we need 8 pieces at 3.5 by 4 inch. And these will become the waterfall elements. So it's going to be this piece here. So that's the bottom part of it. So whatever color you want to show through the back here is what you're going to make these out of. So 8 pieces, 3.5 by 4, and then you need 8 more pieces at 3.25 by 3.25, and these are going to become the faces of the waterfall. So you want these to be in a pattern that you want to use. In this case, I use this floral rose design, and I'm just mixing up a bunch of the pieces from the paper pack here. And then we have these pieces that cover these flaps, and so that's 4 pieces at 3.5 by 2. Okay. All right. I also have some circle punches, and this is like a lighter weight cardstock, so I doubled them up. I'm going to glue them up before I actually use them inside the album. All right, so let's get started decorating now. This is the fun part. We're going to start first with this middle waterfall. So we're going to gather up our single piece that we're going to use for the center, our 8 backs, and our other toppers for this. So these are going to kind of go on here like that once we get it down. And the hardest part of this is going to be this first fold. So we're going to score these on the 1/4 inch. So go ahead and grab your scoreboard, and on a 1/4 inch, doesn't matter where, go ahead and score all of these, and make sure you are scoring. This is the 4 inch length, so you want to make sure you're scoring a 1/4 inch on the 4 inch side. Okay. So what will happen then is, so then that'll make these a little shorter on the longer side, right? Because we're going to fold this back, and that's going to become our waterfall, and then we will attach. I don't know where we put them right this second. Oh, here they are. And then we're just going to attach these. And so the reason for the extra room is so that you have that little kind of gap around. Okay, so let's get back to scoring. All right, so now I have 8 of these that are scored on the 1/2 inch mark, and we'll just fold them over and make this really crisp, and make sure that it's not like kind of kicked this way or too far that way, because once we put these down, it's going to be very important that this is a nice crisp line, and I'll show you why. Okay, these are ready to go. So this is going to be glued down, and this is going to have something glued on top of it, so I'm not worried that it's showing. What I want to do is line up my first piece, and this one you want to make sure is the most vital piece. You want to have this very straight, because the rest are going to build off of this. Okay, so take your time and get this down, and you can use, you know, double-sided tape, or you can use wet glue. I prefer wet glue, so I'm going to use wet glue. All right, and we're going to make sure we line this up. Nice and straight. Okay, and we have like a nice, I'll leave it glued. We'll have a nice even kind of gap all the way around. All right, just push this down, make sure it's nice and secure. Then the next one, you just take and butt it up against this one. Okay, and because we made our lines nice and crisp there, everything should line up. You can check it as you go, but you're just going to glue these down now, one after another, and this will make your waterfall. I'll just do a couple more, but I think you get the gist of it. And then I'll speed it up. Again, we're just going to line this up to this one. Make sure the gap's pretty much the same. All right. One more. And then you go to town. You're probably way ahead of me anyway. Okay, so that is our waterfall. Now I got a little off down here. I don't know if it could be the cut and it could be the way I folded it. So, but no big deal. I don't mind. I'm not going to be that worried about it. All right, and now we get to decorate the front of these. So I did 2 of each of these designs, and I think I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, starting with this one. And so you just want to glue them like this. I like the rounded corners, but I'll just leave it for this. But if you were to do the rounded corners, you have to do both these and your paper, right? So that you continue that rounded look. But we'll leave it like this for now. And if you want to ink up around the outside before you do that, go ahead. I'm just keeping this simple. We will just line this up so that there is an even gap all the way around. Okay, and then you're going to do that for all of these. The next one, you just want to make sure that you are not going all the way up to the top like that. You want to make sure that you're down here and not in that folded area. Okay, so now we have all of our fronts on, and like I said, you can put something on the back if you want, but I figure that's probably where you'll put your photos, and so they'll just get covered up anyway. But I thought it would be cute to put some photo corners, so you could use some of the scrap papers that you have kind of left over from whatever you're cutting and cut little triangles, or actually get the pre-made photo corners. But this is like the perfect size for Instagram, right? I mean, your square Instagram photos, you can have them printed or print a bunch out and then cut them out and put them in there. Oh, I love that. All right, so now we have this waterfall, and we are going to place it in the center here of our mini album. Okay, just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll fold up this, and that's that. So let's put some glue on here. And you probably want a decent amount of glue here, because if you're going to be, you know, looking through it or showing it off and things like that, then it's probably going to get a lot of use. So you want to make sure that it stays down. And then make sure it's positioned the right way so that the waterfall is kind of falling down. And then just set it in the center there. Like that. Flip it over and ta-da! All right. So now that we have that, we get to decorate the rest of it here. And so I'm going to start on the inside. I'm going to do these two sides with this paper. And these are the ones that are 3.5 by 7. And we're going to cut them at 2 inches. And that's going to be for this bottom pocket here. So we'll just cut 2 inches up from the bottom on both. And if you're using directional, just make sure you're cutting it the right way. Do it down here. Very hard to do this camera. And that'll give you one piece at 5 and one piece at 2. And I'm using the same paper, but use whatever, you know, you like. I used different pages on the other one that I did. So these are going to fit in here. I'm in frame. This is the gutter here. We're a little over from the gutter, and then we're just kind of aligned in that space. So we'll glue that down. Like so. And now this piece will go on the pocket, and because we cut it from the same piece, it kind of almost flows like one cohesive piece. If you have grandkids, this would be a fun little project. And instead of putting tags in the pockets, you could put like a little candy bar or a dollar bill or a $20 bill, depending on what kind of grandma you are or grandpa. my daughter's grandparents call it running money, which I think is hysterical. My daughter is 20 now, but they still give her running money every so often. And they give my nieces and nephews running money. And I just think it's a cute little way that you could maybe give it to them. And then they could use this, you know, as a little photo album as well. Or you could put photos of you guys in there. You know, pictures of you and them together, or their parents, or whatever. I think it's a cute little way that you could maybe tuck some fun stuff, gift cards maybe even, or a candy bar would fit in there. So just some fun ideas. And now we have the back. So we're gonna do that, and then we have to do these flaps. All right, so let's pick our 3 pieces here. And I did this one, when I did the fold and the way that I tied it, I did it this way. I think I'm going to do it the opposite way now, so that this flap is the one that comes over this way and it wraps around. So if you're going to use a piece of string to kind of close this off, you want to put this on now before you glue this piece down, because once you glue this piece down, and I think I'll actually use this one, I like this one more. Once you glue this down, it's pretty much, you know, you want to have your ribbon in there between these 2 pieces. So you want to put it in here and then glue this on top of it so that it's stuck. So I'm just going to jump off. I forgot to grab a piece of string. I'm just going to grab a piece of ribbon. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have some of this. I'm just going to measure it off. And I don't think I gave myself enough in the last one, so I'm going to wrap it a few more times. All right, so I just wrapped it around 3 times, and now I'm just going to glue it into this spot here. Another thing you could do if you don't want to use a wrap around it is you can put one of those little Velcro dots here and close it that way. You could also do magnets. You would have to glue the magnet in here under this piece, and then here under this piece, and then it would stay closed. The Velcro would be a lot easier, right? Or this. I like this method because then I can decorate the end of it, and it's you know, just an extra thing. Just an extra thing I can add. First, we'll just get this in place so it's not moving around on us. And then we'll add our top. And just make sure you got a good amount of glue where that ribbon is going to be. Oh, don't pull out on you. All right, and we will center this one on our cover. Just make sure that this is down really good. All right, now we'll do the other 2. This one's going here. And our final piece on the back. All right, now this is optional. You don't have to do it, but if you want to, you can cut a 1/4-inch piece and put it in this gutter. I'm not going to do it for this demonstration, but you can imagine you just would cut off a strip that's as long or just slightly shorter than this, and I found a 1/4 inch wide works really good there. And you can do that on the outside, and you can also do it on the inside if you'd like. It's super easy. I don't think I would need to demonstrate that, but a 1/4 inch works because that's 3/8 of an inch, and it would be just under that. Okay, that's not good. All right, so now we want to do these flaps and the piece that we twist around it. Okay, so on this one, I put a little piece in the middle. The only reason I did that is because I pushed my crocodile too hard and I smushed it down, and you could see all the metal coming through, and I didn't like the way that looked. So for this one, I'm going to try to be a little more gentle, and I'm going to try not to smush it. So you'll see the piece in the middle instead. So we want to first put on this side. We don't want to put this side on yet because we're actually going to put that side on after we attach our piece, and then we can cover up over the other side of that rivet. And this is where these pieces now come in. These are your 3.5 by 2 inch, and you have one for this side, and then you have one for the other side. So you just decide which you would like where. I might put this one, that's too much yellow, so I'm going to put this one on the inside to break up that side. And so I don't need those right now. I do need this, and since I put a corner, rounded the corner, I'm also, oh, what happened? There we go. I'm also going to round these corners, and then that piece will just kind of fit in there like that. So we want to get this on before we go to the next step. I'm going to do both sides. All right, so that's that. Now for these, like I said, these are kind of lightweight, so I'm just going to stick 2 of them together so that they're a little more sturdy. And I cut these out with this punch. I think it's 1 3/8. Well, I can measure it and then I'll know for sure what it is. Yeah, it's a 1 3/8 punch. So, but use, the size isn't that important here. It's just got to be big enough to hold whatever you're putting in the middle, and then to wrap your string around. Okay, so we're going to attach these here and here, and I'm going to use a crocodile. But you could also just punch it in the center and then use one of those expanding brads, because you're going to cover it up on this side. So if that's all you have, you can do that. Another thing you can do is, if you don't want to do these at all, let me see, do I have a scrap here? Yeah. You can take something like this, like a strip, and put it here, cut it a little shorter. And then you could use those Velcro pieces, like you glue one side down and then have the Velcro on the other side, and then you don't have to do any hole punching or anything like that. You could also do the same thing with magnets, right? You could put a magnet here on the other side. So you would put your magnet under this piece of paper, and then you would put your magnet under this side piece of paper, and then you could put a piece over here and then it would just clip down, okay? Yeah, so you only need one magnet on this side. Please excuse me, I'm still talking without thinking. Okay, so that's an alternative. But I'm gonna punch these, and I'm just gonna find the center here so I can see it when I'm punching. Punch. All right, so I want to eyeball this on this side, about center. I'm not going to be too technical about it. And I am using the larger size hole and brad. Oh. So that's one. And then we'll do the same thing here, approximately. Okay, and then I'll just get some brads. Let's see, maybe I'll go with this bronze color. And we'll, come on, get in there. There we go. All right, let's not be too heavy-handed. All right, so we got one. Two. Perfect. And since I have this out, I'm just going to use another piece of this. So like so. Okay, so take this off for now because we have to put our other pieces on here now. And I need to round those corners and glue them in place. Oh. All right, well, this one's getting dual rounding. And now I'm gonna have to do this one. Embrace your mistakes. Okay. So, who cares, right? It's on purpose. We did it on purpose. I like the way that looks better. Anyway. All right, and you just want to, because you have that bulk there with the brad, you just want to hold this until it grabs. But this is a good way to kind of cover that up. You can also tap this down if, you know, it's annoying you that it's a little bulky there. I don't mind. It's all good. That's dry. We'll come over here. Like so. Now, we can put our string back. And I don't glue it. You can tie it if you want. It's so tight there. I don't think it really needs anything, but I'll leave that up to you. It's your album. And so we'll just wrap this around a couple of times like that. She said. And so this piece is now done. And we can kind of wrap that around and tie it in place. You can add, you know, I put like another circle punch on the end of this one. So if you want, you can just do that. You know, but I think it's fine. It'll hold. And then it's just to stay closed. And now you get to fill it. And what I did was just made some cards out of some leftover pieces that I had, and I just stuck them in there. And you can make tall ones or you can make short ones. Any way that you choose. So for instance, that would be cute. I could make a long one and then I can make a short one on this side. The possibilities are endless, and if you don't want to, you know, kind of have it like matching, you can, you know, create some unique tags to put in there. Any kind of card that will fit in that space will work fine. I have tons of stuff sitting here on my desk, so let's just let's see what we got. We got some of those. We got some of this. So there you go. You just put in your tags, or like I said, if you want to give this as a gift, you could put, you know, some money in one side. You can add the photos yourself or allow them to add. And yeah, there you go. That is your super simple. It is simple. I mean, it's really the hardest part of this is kind of cutting all the pieces, but once you have them cut, it goes together really quick. Mini album. That was a long explanation. And there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you make one. I would love to see it. You can at me at on Instagram. It's Hither, the letter N, Jan on Instagram. And I'm at hitherandjanstudio.com. You can also find my shop there where you can get these papers. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more paper crafting and other type junk journal videos, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you'll be notified when new videos come out. And I hope to see you at our next crafting session. Thanks again for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Bye!